Peace, peace, family. We out here in nature. It's a beautiful day outside, man. Make sure y'all get outside. Take advantage of the little things, you know, especially now in this quarantine. It's not every day a lot of y'all get to go outside, so make sure that y'all do go outside. Take in some good sun. But that's not what we're talking about today. The topic of today is going to be the importance and the extreme benefits of fasting. You know, there's a lot of science behind fasting. It's not just starving yourself. it's not just starving yourself. But I'm gonna go ahead. I got some notes. I took some notes for y'all. So if you see me put my head down and stuff, you know why. Let's go ahead and start off. So there's not a lot of research on fasting, or at least any legitimate research. Fasting is definitely something that's a new concept in our era. We're definitely a type of people that like to change things. We change everything. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that people are good at, is changing things. History of it, if you look at civilization when it first started, you know, human beings used to live in a scarcity type of lifestyle. They used to, you know, a lot of people didn't make it through life. A lot of them didn't live long enough to reproduce. A lot of them didn't live long enough to do anything really because of starvation and lack of resources and lack of knowledge, or just anything, you know, just lack of. And, you know, obviously through evolution or whatever, the human mind changed. It industrialized everything. We started making that switch from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. And, you know, that definitely had a lot of benefits, but it also brought in a lot of bad things as well. And I'm gonna go more so into, you know, with that abundance mindset, we took it to the extreme. We took it to the extreme, you know, in almost everything. You know, especially if you think about the world and the society that we live in now, in my opinion, there's two things that run this world that you just can't live without, or at least that's what they push. And those things would be sex and food. You know what I'm saying? You got to eat enough to live, and you wanna have enough sex to reproduce. You know what I'm saying? And have kids, and then just repeat the cycle. So, you know, with that, you kind of see why they push sex all the time in the commercials and TV. And all everywhere you go, there's a McDonald's on every corner. You can get fast food. You get an abundance of fast food from any city. You can go to any city and find fast food. But when you go to these cities and look for the real food, where is it? You know, and that's something that we need to start thinking about. And this is kind of where fasting goes into play. Fasting helps us almost give ourselves a mental reset. You know, you can fast in many ways. You can fast from entertainment. You can fast from, obviously, food. You can fast from sex, which we call abstinence and celibacy. You can fast from your poor spending habits by saving your money. You know, there's so many things you can fast from. But today we're going to talk about fasting from food and the benefits of that. Now, first things first, you got to understand that fasting is not easy. Fasting is not for everybody. You know, and I say that because everybody has the ability to fast, but it's a mindset. You know what I'm saying? Mindset controls everything that we do. Without the proper mindset, it's going to be tough to conquer anything in this world. It's going to be tough. Now, with anybody that has the willingness to learn and the willingness to change, you know, you can conquer anything. And I believe that's one of the extreme mental benefits of fasting, is the ability to overcome the urge of anything, especially when it comes to food. Man, that's probably one of the most hardest urges to conquer, because one, we need it. It's a necessity. You know, you got to eat to live. And, you know, when you think about what they put into our food, you know, there's three main common ingredients that comes in almost anything that, to us, that are on the wave of eating unhealthy, or anybody that's just, you know, anybody. You can find anything that you find in food that's going to make your food taste better. It's three things: sugar, oil, and salt. Sugar, oil, and salt. Now, take the first three letters in sugar, oil, and salt, you have SOS. SOS is actually the sign of danger, if you didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? SOS is danger. And that's exactly what that is. You know, sugar, oil, and salt. Those three things right there are comprising almost anything that we think tastes good. You know, strawberry shortcakes. You know, that's one of my weaknesses, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, the Little Debbie strawberry shortcake, I could eat them all day. But, you know, think of anything, you know, we season our food with salt. You know what I'm saying? We cook most of our food with oil. A lot of our sweets are tasting good because of the sugar. You know, those three things right there are the main three reasons why people are addicted. And I'll say that, addicted to food. You could be addicted to anything, and food, in my opinion, is probably one of the most addictive drugs out there because we have so much an abundance of bad food. And they make it so hard for us to get good food. Good food where you have to grow it. It's all natural, a whole plant food based diet, you know what I'm saying? You don't really get too much of that, and even if you can, you know, you still have to worry about the pesticides and the poisons and everything. It's just so much stuff that goes into it, and we have to be aware of what we put into our body. There's one thing that you just have to remember. You cannot eat whatever you want to and think that you're doing a good service for your body. You just can't. With that being said, you have to understand that a little bit is okay. A little bit is okay, but clearly that's not the case in most industrialized countries. If you look, especially in America, we have a very bad problem of obesity. A lot of people do not take care of themselves because of the fact that they have the free will and the abundance to eat whatever the hell they want to eat. And that is not okay. It is not okay because our purpose of living on earth really is to learn, to experience, share knowledge, pass down to our kids, reproduce, obviously, and to keep the cycle going. Now, when you look at a lot of the health-related issues that are limiting the longevity of the human race, what are they? There are a lot of food-related diseases: diabetes, obesity, hypertension, high blood pressure. You know, the list can go on and on. You know, when it comes to pain in the body, your body gets inflamed due to what you're putting into it. A lot of times it's not what you're doing to your body on a physical level based on working out, it's based on what you're fueling your body with. We have to remember that our body is an organism. It's almost like a machine. You put good oil in a car, oh yeah, it's gonna last you. But you put that shitty, you know what I'm saying? You put that shitty synthetic in. Hold on, let me get some more sun. Let me get some more sun. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, so you put that shitty synthetic in, and it's game over for you. Eee, that sun going crazy. All right, that's a little better. But yeah, you gotta also remember that, you know, whatever you put in your body, you know what I'm saying, there's good oil, there's bad oil for your car. And we're looking to operate at the highest level. On a spiritual level, you know what I'm saying, we gotta raise our frequencies in a position to where, you know, we're able to receive any type of information that we're supposed to receive. There's no way that we can operate at our higher self if we're not doing the things consciously to make sure that we're in the best position that we can be in. You know what I'm saying? One thing about the poor choices that we make, I believe, also stem from the poor support system and the poor support groups that a lot of people have, especially when it comes to food and when it comes to the ability to fast. When you deal with an alcoholic or you deal with somebody that's abused heroin, cocaine, drugs in general, or just somebody that's making poor decisions outside of food, you know, there's a lot more tolerance. You get a lot more of, oh, well, you know, Jimmy's just, he's a recovering alcoholic, so, you know, he can come to the party, but he doesn't want to drink. You know, people will be more tolerant to that. But then when you, let's say, go out to eat, you go out to eat with your friends and family, and everybody's having a great time, and they see you not eating. You know, that's a problem to people for some reason. Oh man, what's going on with you, you know? Especially if you take that to the doctors. You know, you go to the doctors and, you know, let's say, for example, somebody was already 30, 40 pounds overweight. And they go to the doctor for one visit, and they're down 20 pounds. You know, the doctor is going to assume three things. Either you got cancer, you've been starving yourself, or you're on drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing in between that. And it's crazy to me that health professionals believe that, you know, because a lot of them, if you really understand almost the evils in this world, you can almost understand that a lot of the things that people do are for money and greed. You know, money and greed. When you go to the doctors for help, they give you medicine. The reason they give you medicine is because they want repeat offenders. They want repeat customers. That's how they get paid. If everybody's getting healthy, how is the doctors going to get paid? They're not. You know what I'm saying? So they need that. They need to put you on drugs. And fasting is one of those things that will bring you so much power over yourself, simply because you control the urge of what you put into your mouth. You control that action. If you control that, you control anything else. There's a lot of research by this doctor. His name is Alan Goldhammer. Look him up. I believe he has a practice out there in California. He's probably one of the few doctors that are actually doing the research on real fasting. You know, anywhere between 10 days to 40 days. You know what I'm saying? Under monitored, you know, doctor supervision. And what he's realizing is you can literally cure any disease. You can handle any pain in the body in regards to inflammation and things of that nature through 3 things. And he says those 3 things are the proper amount of sleep, the proper workout regimen, just being active. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be out there and training like an Olympian or anything like that. Just go out there and being active and controlling your diet. You know what I'm saying? And one thing is, you can't control something you don't know you don't have a problem with. I want to say that again. You can't control something you don't know you have a problem with. Now, if you don't believe that you have an eating problem, if you don't believe that what you're doing is an issue, you're not going to change. And what's the purpose of putting a Band-Aid on something like that? You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is putting a Band-Aid on the thought of, oh, well, I could just have smaller portions. I can have smaller meals and still be okay. No, you can't. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have more frequent meals, or the meals that you eat just probably aren't even going to be that healthy. And that's where fasting comes in. Fasting comes into play with that part, because you give yourself a mental restart. You give your body a fresh slate to play with. So with that being said, you know, with the idea that you cannot put a Band-Aid on poor decisions, fasting definitely speeds up the process of recovery. You know what I'm saying? It helps you. You know, Dr. Alan Goldhammer actually, he did a study with drug abusers while fasting. You know what I'm saying? And one thing he noticed was the fact that throughout that fast, a lot of drug abusers, you know, addicted to nicotine, heroin, the ones that were willing to go through, you know, change. One thing he noticed was a lot of them lost the craving to smoke after 2 or 3 days. Can you believe that? Like, can you really believe that? 2 or 3 days and they lost the habit to smoke. Something that they've been doing probably for years. And simply because you just deprive the body of what it's normally getting. You know what I'm saying? Now, one thing I would state about fasting based on my journey, I've only, you know, I'm a very consistent intermittent faster. And what that means is, you know, taking about 16 hours out your day where you're not eating, you have an 8-hour window to consume food, and then you repeat. So I will say that I'm not a stranger to fasting, but my fasting journey where I went 80 hours, I will state this. A lot of that was a mental shift, and that was a spiritual shift for me. I say mentally because it shifted my focus from poor decisions to decisions that empowered myself. In order for me to keep my mind off of eating, I had to stay busy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I had to stay busy. Because I guarantee if I wasn't busy or productive, I was going to fold. I literally had just went grocery shopping before I started my fast. And, man, I had a lot of temptation. I had all that food, snacks, just sitting on top of the refrigerator, man. I'm looking at it every time I walk by, and I'm like, man, look. Let me just stay busy. Let me drink my water. Stay busy. Let me drink my water. And I want to say after the first 2-3 days, like Dr. Alan Goldhammer says, after the first 2 or 3 days, I wasn't craving food for that like that anymore. And truthfully, if it wasn't for that team meeting, I can honestly say I would have went longer than 80 hours. I can honestly say that. Now, with that being said, will I fast again? I surely will. I'm looking to actually do a three-day fast twice a month. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, maybe working a week fast every quarter, and look into pushing that 21-day limit. If I can go for a 21-day fast, that would be amazing. You know, like a master reset. You know, on a spiritual level, you know, I meditated so much more on my fast. I'm not even gonna lie. I meditated so much, and I found so much inner peace. I found so much inner drive and inner will that I was not getting before I fasted. You know, and I'm a pretty healthy individual. I eat pretty well. But, you know, to go deeper into that, one thing that most religions have in common, no matter the belief, no matter anything else like that, there's 2 things that most religions have in common. The one thing for sure is fasting. They believe that fasting is definitely one of the quickest ways and the easiest ways to get yourself into or closer to that source. You know what I'm saying? The Most High. You know what I'm saying? Look at religious figures like Moses, David, Elijah, Yeshua, Yahusha, or what y'all may call Jesus. You know, they all did 40-day fast. There's a very powerful story in the Bible that talks about, you know, I believe it's the walls of Jericho, where they marched and they fasted for 40 days. At the end of the 40 days, they blew the trumpets and the walls fell. You know what I'm saying? And it's just stuff like that that makes you want to wonder the true power of this stuff. You know, because clearly we're definitely not just here for no reason. We're here because we're spiritual, and we chose to be here. And definitely I feel like one of the reasons is to get back to the higher source. I do also believe that everything happens for a reason. I've been looking at a lot of spiritual people on YouTube, you know, Spiritual Soul, eBay Foster, another one. And, you know, they talk a lot about, you know, obviously raising your vibration, your frequency. And they also talk about the importance of getting prepared. And I lead that into stating, you know, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world right now. A lot of crazy stuff going on right now. With this quarantine, you know, December 21st, you got the Great Conjunction with Saturn and Jupiter, you know, first time happening in years, you know, thousands, or hundreds thousand years, whatever. But, you know what I'm saying, first time it's happening in our lifetime. And, you know, Ralph Smart also says that, you know, there's a lot of crazy things going to happen in the next couple weeks, months, that are really going to test you spiritually, and they all stress fasting. And I believe this, me and eBay Foster, surprisingly enough, actually started something the same day. We started it, and I didn't even watch his video, and we started our fast the same day, our 3-day fast, and it was crazy. He's calling it the 21-day Raise Your Vibration Challenge. You know, obviously from December 1st to December 21st, doing as much as you can to raise your vibration for that Great Conjunction. And I believe that everybody who's on that frequency received that message, even when they weren't on YouTube, because I received it, and I acted on it. It was a spur of the moment thing for me to go ahead and hit that fast. And, you know, I believe that being able to control yourself and being able to control what you put in your body right now is going to be more important than ever, especially with the possibility of food shortages, the possibility of extended lockdowns. Oh yeah, you're gonna have to be able to control what you eat. You're gonna have to be able to, you know, consume your water. You're gonna have to be able to sun gaze if they let you outside. You know, for me, I'm outside, thank the Lord, and I'm able to stay outside for now. And I want to make sure that I get my life from the source. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna have to go a few times without meals. And I hope that you guys prepare for yourselves with that, because there's gonna be a lot of trying times, and a lot of people are gonna get tested. And, you know, self-control is definitely going to be one of the biggest things. And, you know, I don't want to rant too much about it, so I think I'm just going to leave it at that. But, you know, there are a lot of crazy health benefits to fasting. Overcoming addictions, you know, overcoming health issues, you know, diabetes. You know, with Alan Goldhammer he treats diabetes patients that would normally go to a doctor, and they will laugh if they brought up the idea of fasting. You know what I'm saying? Because doctors just don't expect, they don't expect for their patients to get better. They just don't, because they're, you know, they got to get paid. And you know what I'm saying? Got to say that under my breath, but you know, they don't, they got to get paid. They don't expect for these people to get better. And also too, if you look at most doctors, I've had my few share of experiences with doctors, you know, that were not in shape. They were not healthy themselves. So I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. You know, I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. I take advice from individuals that have what I want or are pursuing what I'm going after. And I will not respect your opinion if you don't model the opinion or the information that you're sending out to me. Why would I believe that information if you don't believe it? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, there have been plenty of patients with Dr. Goldhammer that have been treated through diabetes type 2, lymphoma disease, tumors, cancers, you know, individuals in his family and patients that have actually beat triple bypass. You know, they didn't even have to get the triple bypass surgeries because of the fact that they decided to make radical life changes to save their lives. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it's all about. Radical life changes. And honestly, when you think about it, after you introduce fasting to yourself, it's not even that radical, because what happens is you take yourself from that abundance mindset and you more so move yourself to a complacent mindset, like less is more, on a sense. You know what I'm saying? I feel so much better after that fast, and it's something that I continue to do because, man, it's so empowering to know that you can conquer something like that. You know what I'm saying? To conquer the ability to damage your body through food. You know, sugar, oil, and salt is danger. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, you know, I'm healthy, you know, so I still consume a little sugar and salt. You know what I'm saying? I got to, you know, it is what it is. But the main point of it is to control what you put in your body. Control what you're doing. If you control what you put in your body, you can control everything else in your life. You will be able to level up in ways that you've never imagined. And I believe I'm gonna go ahead and leave. I'm gonna leave y'all off with that one for now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna definitely do more fasting videos, more meditation videos, more raise your frequency, you know, type situations. But I think that's enough for y'all right now. I believe that you guys got the message. Point of it all, man, the reason for fasting, long story short, self-control and empowerment. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna rock with y'all. Y'all keep rocking with me. And until then, peace.